Oh,
We're live?
Yep.
No, we're not.
I believe we are.
dude, we're not even live,
Let me
bro.
just tweet it out. I believe we are live.
You don't have to lie to us.
Yeah, like, we're not even live, bro.
No, we are live.
We are live.
We are live.
Oh, we're live? Oh, great. Oh,
Beautiful. Let
John,
me
don't
close
tell
this down. All right, let me turn this off and let's begin. Hello, everyone. It's Dylan from Yugioh Everything, and welcome back to another Talking Yu-Gi-Oh! Into the VRAINS live stream podcast. Now, normally we do these on Saturdays at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Right now, it's like 11:10 p.m. Eastern time on a Wednesday night, and the reason is that I am going to Florida. I'm going to Orlando for the weekend just to get some warm weather, so I'm very, very excited about that. And for that reason, we decided, let's just live stream Wednesday night, and we are going to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS, episode 92, a longly awaited duel between Playmaker and Shoichi Kusanagi, but I do want to introduce everyone that I'm with.
Of course.
You know both of these guys very well at this point. We have Cal and Nick, the two Nicks
What's going on?
the podcast. Now we have someone new on the podcast for this one, if you want to introduce yourself real quick.
I'm John.
Yeah, so John is moderating for Jordan. He is the man that I went to see Pyramid of Light with, by the way, back in March. So you've actually seen the first dubbed episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS.
Right, yeah, that was at the end of that movie. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So you've actually seen more
Right.
VRAINS dubbed than anyone else here has, which is kind of cool. So still waiting for that to come out in the States, which that should be really cool. Pete is on the thumbnail. Pete was supposed to come at 9:30, but if you do not know Pete, which you probably don't, at least in a personal sense, he is always at least 2.5 hours late to everything that we go to. So he said, I'll get here around 11. He was supposed to get here at 9:30. We're still awaiting his arrival. John will run up and grab the door when he does come. So hopefully Pete will be joining us and he will be giving his thoughts on the episodes. Great friend of ours, but
of course,
just always loves being late.
He lives for it. He lives for it.
So really hoping he comes. But thank you to everyone joining this late night stream, or I guess depending on where you are in the world. So I really do appreciate that. Before we get into it, by the way, I do want to thank new patrons of mine and people who did super chat donate in the last stream. Edward K and Mike and Bomberger, thank you for supporting me on Patreon. Mike and I actually met at Liberty City Con in New York back in August. Such a nice person, such an amazing person. So thank you so much, Mike, and very sweet to pledge. And thank you, Edward. And to the super chat donators from the last two streams: Wolverine, Jarek Bruel, Kaiser Dark Knight, Rex Kentrix, Midorina Shintaro, Nicholas Horton, Underdog Chris, Goosey Q, Legendary Duels, Matt Galaxy, Chris Swan, Anime Dude 892, Sharktail, King Ban, Master Swag King, Dragon Fist 900, Underdeal 88, Yurter, and Fiesta Brava, Miken. Thank you guys all so much for the donations. And Joseph Citadino and James Molyneux, I probably butchered your names. They both donated a very, very strong amount. So thank you guys truly from the bottom of my heart to anyone who helps me in that way. It really does mean the world to me.
You also might want to give Jarek another thank you because he just donated $2.
Thank you, Jarek. I appreciate that, man. Any message along with
He said, Wednesday night live stream hype. Enjoy
Jarek.
FL, Dylan.
Thank you, Jarek. Yeah, and hopefully...
Of course.
You got another one, too, from Dragonfish 900.
Oh, thank you so much, Mark. Thank you so much. Any message with that?
Yeah, sorry, I keep giving you a timeline theory with the shaft.
It's fine, dude. It's fine. That theory is very outdated. I'm going to update it very soon. Yeah, I'm going to update that theory very soon. But so episode 92. Let's get into it. You guys ready?
Why don't you start us off?
I guess I'll start us off. So, how long ago was it that I talked about Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS playing it safe with their choices?
Not
too long ago.
Every week.
Every week, yeah. Well, this week, finally, I had a feeling that that's kind of gone out the window. What I loved about this episode, usually I have more time to think about the monologue. We were probably 10 minutes from going live, and I was like, oh, I don't have a monologue. That's okay. So I'm kind of working on the fly here. This is not a safe duel, and that's what I love about it. No matter what happens, unless there's a cop-out, and there is a way that they can cop out of this duel that I'm praying they do not take. Playmaker and I are either going to die,
of course,
or Shoichi and possibly Jin are going to die.
Right.
Like, this is the big climax duel that I think a lot of us have been waiting for so long. And we're glad that we're getting it because sometimes openings foreshadow things that don't actually happen.
Sure.
So the fact that this opening was foreshadowing a Shoichi and Yusaku standoff and it's actually happening and coming to fruition
It's crazy.
is great.
Absolutely.
The way they've done it is perfect. This is such a good chance for Playmaker Yusaku, who a lot of people have said doesn't really have a lot of development, which I will kind of agree on that,
Absolutely,
to
yes.
get some development. We've already seen more struggle in this duel, in this one episode from his character, than we've probably seen in the entire show.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I would
Easily.
say you could make that argument. And that should only
definitely.
continue in episode 93, because from his perspective, the only person that he loves and cares about is
Jin.
Shoichi. Well, they're trying to save Jin. It's Kusanagi.
I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry.
Got it
yes.
confused. It's all good, dude. It's late. That's the only person he loves.
Right.
To him, like Shoichi's relationship, Shoichi is to Yusaku as Jin is to Shoichi.
Right. Okay. I misunderstood what you were saying, but
And-
I understand now.
And so
Absolutely.
if Yusaku ends up winning to save himself and to save Ai, what's the price? The price is monumental because he's going to lose Shoichi. We also lose our narrator of the previews.
Yeah.
And that's my main concern. Who's going to narrate these episodes?
Emma.
Naoki.
Naoki. I think the Frog and Pigeon very well could, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really think
it's
they
very
could.
likely.
So Shoichi could be dead, and even if Yusaku saves Jin, what was the price? And I
Yeah,
wonder, I imagine when Lightning gets defeated, everyone's going to be saved and rescued. And I wonder the relationship that Yusaku and Shoichi are going to have with each other after this duel, after Shoichi went up against Yusaku. And I just wonder if Yusaku will be able to forgive Shoichi, which I think he will, honestly. That's probably how it will play out. Or if the ties between them are going to be severed because of what happened here. Because Yusaku has done everything to save Jin.
Sure.
And now Shoichi has to get involved, but he had to get involved. There was
He had
no
to.
other choice.
He had-
And
he had no
Yusaku's well
option.
aware of it.
Yeah.
Yusaku wasn't like, what are you doing? Why are you fighting me? It was more of a, so this is the time.
Yeah, he literally
He
said
knew
that.
immediately.
You're here.
I was like, what's going
I
on?
think Pete is here. I think Pete's coming. Oh, what a moment. Pete comes home.
Pete comes home.
But yeah, honestly, guys, I absolutely loved that about this episode. And I've been seeing this like trend on Twitter where like, if you like this photo, I'll give you like my favorite character, my least favorite character from VRAINS. And a lot of people's least favorite characters was Yusaku. A lot of people do not like Yusaku to the point where he's like their least favorite. I wouldn't put him there for
I wouldn't
me
put him my
personally.
least. I can see.
Well, I can see it.
because he's very cold.
He's very to himself.
Yeah.
And we haven't really seen as much development as I think most of us would have liked.
Sure.
So this
Yeah,
is the episode and the duel where it 100% can happen.
I think,
and
I think-
hopefully does happen.
I think people probably think he's their least favorite because of the expectation they have for like the main protagonist.
That's very true.
So-
That's very true. Well, that's exactly what it is. Pete walking across the camera. We are live, man. We are live, baby. How you doing, dude?
I'm good, dude.
I'm good, man.
Good.
There is a Peter V, the fan favorite, joining us for the first time on Talking Yu-Gi-Oh! Into the
Wow,
Brains.
I feel honored that I had such a welcome. Caliber, how are you?
good. How are you, brother?
It's good to see you, bro. It's good to see you.
It's a little bit weird, fellas.
So have you, because you were about 10 episodes behind, did you catch up?
Yeah.
Really?
It was a journey.
So how many episodes? It was like 15 episodes.
No, it was more like about 22 episodes or so. I realized that the
Holy
last episode
shit.
that I watched was like 78.
Oh my God.
So
wow.
so it was actually probably more like 24 or something.
Well,
like that.
78 to 92 is 14. Was it
Yeah.
68, you mean?
Yeah. No. Yeah. All right. So
It was 68.
Yeah.
Right before Revolver versus Wendy.
Yeah. It was.
So you watched all of that.
It
Oh,
was
you
a
got to
long-
go then.
Did you watch that
Talk
today
about it.
before you came here?
No. No.
Oh, okay.
About in the
God.
last 5 days or so.
Okay.
So it's
Nice.
That's
It's
incredible.
culminating to
Dude,
today.
so riff a little bit, dude. What do you
It's an
think?
incredible
Well, first,
binge.
everyone in the chat, do I sound okay? Am I?
Does
Yeah,
Pete sound
because-
good? I imagine. I'd imagine if you didn't, people would say. you
Also,
didn't.
before Pete starts going, you have a bunch of donations.
Oh,
that-
seriously?
yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my
yeah.
God! Thank you
Yeah.
guys so
You
much.
read
Oh,
those
you
all.
can interrupt like if
Yeah. Thank you so
so-
much, guys.
What we did another one from Dragon Fist. Haven't seen much of VRAINS. Looking forward to it. And then another one from Dragon Fist.
Dang, he's
Who has dubbing rights? Still 4K Media.
Thank you so
It
much,
is.
Mark. Yes, it is 4K Media, and the dub, no announcement date for the United States, but it has aired the entire first season, 46 episodes in Canada, and I've heard very good things about the dub. I know a lot of the voice actors. The voice actors are incredible guys.
homie Daniel.
Incredible gal. Daniel
he was on last week.
Daniel was
Yeah.
on last
So-
week.
such
I'm
a
sure
good
he'll be
guy.
on. Barrett Letty, voice of Zeisen's going to be on. I'm sure
I
Sam
have to
Black.
meet him. He's my favorite.
Yeah, I love Akira.
Who's
so
Sam voice?
Sam voices Kusanagi.
Wow.
I don't know, one of your favorites.
Dude,
so,
those
That-
guys- I
actually,
wanna-
this episode will be great for the dub there.
I
when that
know,
comes
I
out.
know.
Oh
So
my
the dub,
God.
very excited for that. But thank you so much, Mark.
And
Thank
we
you
got-
so much,
We
dude.
got like 3 or 4 more too.
Alright,
Randy, May, crazy.
Okay.
Have fun, Dylan. We'll miss you.
Thank you so
Aw.
much, Randy. I'll only be gone for a weekend, dude. I'll be right back next week. Thank you so much, dude.
Of course, the week I won't be here.
So yeah,
That's
Nick
the
will be
problem.
in London next
Yeah.
week. Oh yeah, poor you.
Oh yeah,
Kids
you're
go-
going to
kid-
Florida. What do
kids-
you mean?
Kids going to London acting like it's the end of the
You
world.
guys
Yeah.
are going on vacation, and I got 18 weeks of jury duty. I think we all, we all
Yeah, I
see how
think
this one
Calibro
goes.
is the ultimate loser.
Make it Cal tonight's big lose.
Yeah, but you're jury duty on Judge Judy. Someone told me.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
definitely.
That's
yeah.
how that. That's not how
Are
that
you doing
works.
a murder trial?
Check
or
me out on
something?
channel 4
Scranton
or whatever
Strangler.
channel Judge Judy's on.
You're deciding someone's life over there.
Yeah, it's the Scranton Strangler.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on,
Yeah,
John. Thank you so much, Randy.
Chris Swan, $5.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yes,
Chris.
Chris.
Awesome, dude.
How's
Awesome
the late
guy.
night, early morning stream treating? Yes.
It's gonna be
fun.
brutal.
I'm
but
tired.
it's fun. Yeah, I know. Thank you guys for coming. I mean, Caliber's very important to Prudential.
Yeah,
Um,
like he's integral.
He's said before if he misses a work shift at Prudential accounting firm, the company goes under. So thank you for coming. That's
Yeah,
actually
dude.
true.
I know.
Really means a lot, bro.
Big guy.
MKJ. I think that's euros. I'm not sure.
Okay. Thank you, MK.
Always enjoy the pounds next
No, that's euros. GBP. is
Whatever.
pounds.
Whatever it is. Anyway, always, I don't
That's
know.
close.
Always enjoy.
I think.
Always enjoy the videos, man. Favorite YouTuber.
Hey, thank you so
Wow,
much, dude. That
that's
means a
huge.
lot.
That's very nice.
There's a lot of great Yugi. I mean, I don't even consider myself a Yugi tuber, but thank you so much, man. I appreciate
The
it. Dude.
Fireball. I see you're happy about the Manchester game. LOL.
Yes. Oh my God. Actually, before you read the next donation,
Yep.
let's talk about that real quick. So I'm a huge Man United fan, and Cal acts like he's a big PSG fan. I'm kidding. Is a big PSG fan. In fact, he took off a semester to travel with the team.
I've never been to Europe, so don't listen to
and go to
anything he
all their
says.
matches in France. So he's a big PSG fan. And yeah, let me say something. The first time in the history of the Champions League that a team loses 2-0 in the first leg and ends up going on to win and advance to the next round. PSG, who spent in the last 6 years $1.4 billion on their
we
team,
go.
have never been to the semifinals. A Man United squad, remind you, that was without Paul Pogba, Anthony Martial, Juan Mata, Nemanja Matic,
You have this on your
Ander
phone
Herrera,
already?
Jesse Lingard, Phil Jones, Alexis Sanchez, Matteo Darmian, Antonio Valencia, 2 people who literally made debuts at the age of 17 that came on as substitutes. And we went to Paris after getting smacked at home, and we win 3-1. What was that?
Can
a Paris
It
team
was-
that had
it was Lukaku.
A Paris
That's what it
team
was.
that
Yeah.
had Julian Draxler, that had Mbappe, your guy Mbappe,
Mbappe.
World Cup winner Mbappe.
Cavani didn't
You
play.
really
today.
putting
Cavani
emphasis
didn't
on the
play, and Neymar's on the sideline acting like, "Oh my God, what's going
Neymar's
on?"
hurt, so.
Okay, but PSG against
Neymar
a
Jr.?
United
Can I-
Academy team.
can-
So I just wanted to say, good game. You played well, and I hope you have fun in League One, which is a joke of a league.
Can I at least rebuttal with the fact
Drop
that
the mic.
if any team is going to blow a lead in the Champions League, it's
them.
PSG.
They did
Do
it
you
to
remember the
Barcelona.
Barcelona beat
They
them
had-
5-1
Yeah.
to cover.
They won
Something
4-0 in the first leg.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they won 4-0 and they lose. It's-
That's-
oh my
everyone
God.
in the comments is thinking like, what the heck is going on right now?
I know. Sorry,
Dylan
So
is
I'm a very passionate Manchester
you
United fan.
triggered him with that.
Yeah.
Very
Okay.
passionate fan.
You
But
know-
yes,
When
I
I
thank
saw
you.
that, I'm like,
Thank
here
you
we
for
go.
the donation. So, and I am super happy. I mean, I was screaming when Rashford buried that penalty. Dude, I mean, I was
I should have been
in
as
tears.
upset, but it's honestly it's an expectation.
I
at
mean,
this
Jesus
point.
Christ, we're to the quarters we go. I
one
would sing
more.
"Glory, Glory, Man United," but we're gonna get on with it. Thank you so much.
Glory, glory,
Man
man
United. All right, go on.
One more from Chris.
All right, thank you, Chris. Thank you, my
He'll,
man.
he'll be back unless Monster Gator gets him with a coach.
Oh, jeez.
I know.
You never
Yeah,
know.
Chris
the bull
DMs me
gator.
after I say I'm going to Florida, and he's like, "By the way, there was a huge gator spotted down in Orlando." I'm like, "Don't tell me
Yeah,
that."
the bull gator.
I don't want
Like
to.
a dinosaur?
It's a serious thing.
I
dude.
know it is. I
Some
hate.
of them are like 15 feet.
I
down
know.
there.
I know. Well, hopefully there's none in Disney.
They still have Zika down there.
Oh, they.
They don't have Zika down there.
Isn't that was it in Florida?
Idiot. No.
It was.
Okay.
Guy's an
Victoria
idiot.
Azarenka is down in Florida.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
Zika. It's carried by mosquitoes.
You're right. Okay, so let's get back on course. because we will, we get to the everything part after 30 minutes. What have you thought of the last 20
Oh, yeah, you
episodes?
go.
Oh
Just
my
riff,
God,
dude. There's so much to talk
there's-
about.
There's been so much that's happened. Rest in peace to my boy Blood Shepherd. I just want
Right?
to
Yeah,
Oh,
you're a
man.
big fan. I know. I'm sorry.
So,
dude.
so that really hurt me on a personal level. But also to Owie too. That really hurt. That was really sad.
Yeah.
I thought she dueled really well. She
did.
I thought Blood Shepherd did as well. And to just see that happen every time, whatever this is of them dying, it's some virus. They're getting off. They're going somewhere. I don't know what's happening, but
It's bizarre.
super sad.
Yeah.
That little tactic at the end there with Bowman saying it's compassion,
Yeah, I pointed
really
out-
pissed me off, and I was just like, oh, okay, that's how we want to play this Lightning and Bowman. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, that's not messed up at all, and so. Yeah, they have a hugging moment, but I don't know. It just annoyed me.
It was almost a backhanded thing.
It was
The
absolutely
other
backhanded.
thing that I was almost like, oh, okay, that's how we're going to play this, is when he was doing the Blood Shepherd duel. So I was, 78, 79,
Yeah.
I think it was. And he has this, like, church stained glass painting in the background.
Yep.
Where it's like human evolution of, like, animals to humans. And he just perfectly has to place himself as he's floating above the entire chain of evolution.
I didn't
He's
even
above the
and
notice
it
that.
really pissed me the hell off when I looked at that. And I was like, all right.
I didn't even notice that,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah, Lightning is
Some serious symbolism.
He's
there.
a fantastic villain, and
Oh,
you guys
he's
know I
great.
love my villains if you follow
I've
me on
loved
here.
him.
But it's just like those little jabs, like where they don't focus on it a lot. Where I was just like, okay,
Yeah,
we're gonna play dirty, and then obviously here in this recent
was gonna say, this
we're
episode.
playing super dirty.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
With what we're doing here. I do have some thoughts. I assume we're gonna talk about that.
Yeah, I mean,
of where that's gonna go, but
So here's the
definitely
thing.
intrigued. You said it wasn't gonna happen. You said from the opening, oh, it looks like that moment would never happen. It's happening.
when we were in probably like the 80s,
It's like there's
and
no
we were
way.
30 episodes through, I was like, you know what, the opening's going to change soon. I don't see how this is going to really work out.
Yeah.
I was wrong. And you know what? I am fine being wrong.
Hey, in retrospect, it's funny because like I know at least in my head when we got as far as we did, it was like, well, how could they possibly make it happen? Like I feel like we're too far ahead. And then like in retrospect, watching this episode, it's like it was as easy as literally hanging Jin's real consciousness over Kusanagi's head.
Yeah.
It was that easy.
yeah.
And I was like, wait, why didn't I think of that?
Well, that's why I thought it was brilliant. And there were definitely some people that could have seen it play out this way, but it was right in front of our noses the entire time that this was going to happen.
Sure.
Yeah.
And the fact that it happened, and a lot of us kind of were like, oh, yeah, that was, I guess, always going to happen, I thought was amazing.
I think because
Really
it
well
happened
done.
so quick as well.
Yeah,
Is
right,
that
it
it
was-
was just like, hey,
yeah.
meet me here. Boom. You want your brother's real consciousness back? Fight Playmaker.
If you don't, he's dead.
Yeah.
Simple as
It was
that.
simple as that.
That's-
Give him an ultimatum.
It's messed up, man. I love it. But
That's great.
you also, unfortunately, have been sucked into this pool now, by the way, where we...
No, I'm not. The dinner pool?
Yeah.
I'm not in the
No,
dinner
you're
pool.
in it.
You're
You're
right
in
on.
it. You are in
You're
it.
even.
You're in it.
yeah.
So we're giving you a 1-1 record.
So you're tied for first.
So
with
you're
me.
tied for first. Me and Nick T are 0-2, and again, the person who comes in last takes the entire crew. And this now goes to people that have guessed it on the podcast. So John and DJ are also included. So it'll be like an 8-person extravaganza.
Oh my god.
Yep.
gonna be very
Dinner,
expensive.
New York City, steak. I mean, we're talking probably like $700.
And top dono.
So
right?
we are.
Oh, wow. We're just adding to it. Okay.
Tom Dono joins us. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It's such a douchey term.
It's
Tom Dono.
I'm being a total
Top
jerk.
D in the chat. Top D in the chat.
Top D of all time. So we are going to take our predictions on who is going to win this duel. Now you can say Playmaker, Kusanagi, draw or no result. Us three have texted John, so we did that so that we can't change our answers based on what other people
So
pick.
Pete goes first.
So you go first.
I will say Kusanagi.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Who do you think?
Oh, Playmaker.
I had Playmaker as well.
Well, do you want to give reasons?
Oh
or
yeah,
just-
absolutely. Okay, yeah, absolutely.
I don't have a
so
reason.
No, 100%. Well,
I'm
basically,
kidding,
all right,
I
I'm
do.
saying far removed from the plot armor. I'm not talking plot armor aside. The context, the foreshadowing, a lot of what Lightning has said about, if Kusanagi loses, it's whatever. But this duel is really about much more than that. It's about the damaging effects it's going to have on
Yeah.
Playmaker. So what it's setting us up to have is an extremely damaged Playmaker move on, defeat Kusanagi, move on, and have to face our higher.
An emotionally unstable.
He said
Yusaki.
it in a way, Lightning phrased it, I believe, as a scar on his heart.
Yes.
So.
Yes. And yeah, he said it, he's phrased it a few ways. A scar on his heart. He said that this battle what the Kusanagi's damage was far worse than the numbers reflect. So that it just goes to show like this is going to have serious damage on Playmaker, meaning he's going, in my eyes, meaning he's going to move on and be distraught after having to defeat his friend.
Also in the chat, write your prediction on this duel.
They are, yeah,
I'm curious as to which way the chat and the fandom is leaning. So Kusanagi, Playmaker, who do you want to win this duel? If you had to pick to win, who would you pick? That's tough.
I would still pick Playmaker.
You want Playmaker, you think he'll win?
Because I think Playmaker has the ability to save Kusanagi afterward. Kusanagi, I don't think, would have the ability to save Playmaker.
True.
Because I think that Kusanagi only really stands a chance in this duel because of how well he knows Yusaku's deck.
Sure.
It's fair.
I agree.
It's fair.
Yeah. Well, that's why I think it makes him the ultimate opponent.
Yeah.
Is because we're talking on an even playing field. He's clearly not in the class of Playmaker.
No.
We'll just say that
Absolutely not.
outright.
I
I
don't
don't
know
think
if
that's
anyone is.
insulting, but
No.
he's just not. But he also knows him the best. He knows everything about him. They were there with the Dakota Talker when they made the card. Like, he's been there since the beginning. So I think it's a very unique and perfect matchup that totally favors Kusanagi. The reason why I picked him is because I think they're going to do a little bit of a
The end of the season here.
yeah, kind of cop out kind of thing here, where there's this interesting scene with the Knights.
Yeah. Yeah.
It seems like they sent over Kusanagi sent over some kind of coding that's not finished that they're finishing, and they said mirror something, right?
Mirror
So here's my theory, not knowing the actual card game. So forgive me in the comments below. I think it's going to be a thing where Kusanagi wins, right? It looks like that. We know Lightning and Bowman and everyone else is watching. But maybe it's not like that. Maybe it's a mirror image of there's some kind of, you're looking at something, right? You think you're watching this duel, but nothing's really happening. And in the background, they're really looking and going after Lightning and Bowman. Because I can't see us either going, hey, Playmaker and I are dead, or Jin's consciousness is basically dead. There's no way. That's a very ballsy thing to do, and there's no way they're going to do it.
My concern, yeah, you go.
I just want to say I like the idea of the smoke and mirrors thing, but the way I see it is, if Kusanagi loses, that doesn't mean Jin's consciousness is dead. It just means Kusanagi cannot save Jin's consciousness.
It means Kusanagi is dead. But Lightning has also said, I'm deleting his. He said it to Bowman.
Right,
in
that's how
private.
I took it.
Yeah,
that he's going to delete it
true.
straight
He's
up.
deleting
It's
it
in
straight
the
up.
private,
Yeah.
yeah.
So here's my thing. I'm worried that it's not going to play out as cool as that, but that they are going to do a cop out. By the way, I am picking Playmaker. I'm picking Playmaker to win because I just can't pick against him, unfortunately.
Yeah,
if he wasn't the main protagonist, or if Yu-Gi-Oh wasn't so in love with their main protagonists winning, especially in the second half of the show. I know people will say, well, Yuma from Zale, I mean, he lost so much. Halfway through the show, he became invincible. He didn't lose once after his loss to Kaido, and I think that was episode like 70. And the last 70 episodes, he was invincible. So even with Yuma, even though he lost a lot more, it's still, I mean, Yuya lost an episode with 55 episodes left to Sergei. But I think in the last 55 episodes of the show, no Yu-Gi-Oh protagonist has ever lost. And if that's going to be true for VRAINS, then Playmaker's going to go undefeated, which is a shame. So I think this is a duel that he could lose. And I'm rooting for Kusanagi, believe it or not. I'm rooting for Shoichi because I think him winning would lead to the most interesting developments in terms of the plot. But him losing is also very interesting because how does Playmaker carry on? Yeah. What actually happens to the Kusanagis? Do they actually get killed? I mean, we've seen them not hesitate to kill off Lost Incident victims. Now, granted, we still don't know about Wendy's kid.
It's unsure.
Seems like
but
he's dead.
It's very,
But they got to give some backstory to that.
Yeah,
a little bit.
yeah.
He's
We're
dead.
not positive.
I mean, we saw the car accident.
So,
and
but would they kill off Jin and Shoichi for good? Probably not. Not if it wasn't Yu-Gi-Oh. If it wasn't a shonen, I'd say it's possible.
even
but again,
if it wasn't, I think. I mean, yeah.
I don't know. Shows have done.
If you don't kill them off, I think you still set up an interesting thing here where if this was serious, right? He beats them. Maybe something even further happens to Jin. Maybe all of his consciousness is not deleted, but half of it or something like that, right? Playmaker has to forever live with that.
Absolutely.
And how does him and Kusanagi's relationship go on after
How
that?
do you? Yeah.
How for the next 50 episodes or whatever?
Yeah,
it will
50
be,
episodes.
How does Playmaker potentially work without his guy in the chair, kind of right hand man?
Shoichi yells,
That's interesting.
lose for Jin.
Yeah.
If he wins, he's basically going against everything that he promised Shoichi and himself
absolutely,
since
yeah.
the beginning of this show.
And that's why it's hard- it's a-
it's such a good duel. And it's pretty hard to predict, too.
Yeah, and even Playmaker said like I can't fight him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's his last line.
Like,
Back to the cop-out program, though. I'm worried that right as this duel is going to have a conclusion, the Knights are going to do something with that program, and everyone's going to get logged out, and we're not going to see the conclusion.
I was going to say,
Right.
And that would be a shame.
That would be a shame. But I think there's another wild card here that we aren't exactly considering. So yeah, like we said, Playmaker wins. Lightning's intent is to delete Jin's consciousness, right? But I think what they're sort of hinting towards is like as Lightning has been talking to Bowman, he's been increasingly uncomfortable. You can see it. He wears it on his face.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's a wild card right now.
Oh, I agree.
Like
Yeah.
he's because, and you know what? It's not even that like whether his intention's good or bad. He's becoming more and more human, and so like his emotions have been affecting his decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Like his rage during Blue Maiden's battle, and then his sort of mercy in going toward like meeting up with Playmaker before. Like I think I don't know. He's being increasingly human, and I think that makes him unpredictable.
He's a wild card. Something to
Yeah,
say?
we got more donations.
Okay, thank you guys so much. Very humbling. Thank you all.
MKJ, I think Bowman will rebel and free Jim's conscious.
Yeah, I
see that.
completely
I
see
think
that.
that's-
Totally.
I said
agree
it
with
in
you.
my review,
That's
and
what I
that's why
said
you guys
before
didn't even
this,
really
too.
watch my.
No.
You guys don't watch my reviews, but you
I
say
do watch your reviews.
well, but I mean, you didn't watch it for this
I didn't watch
episode.
it today.
I'm not.
I don't know,
I'm
you
not
put-
jabbing
No,
you
dude,
guys.
what
for
the
not
heck?
going
You
back.
jabbing
No,
When
I'm
you
not
have the
j-
big episode moments, that's when I usually go,
Thanks.
what it doing?
Thank you,
But
thank you.
usually I
But-
could just text you.
Yeah,
So-
right. Exactly. You
Yeah,
have
we
that.
usually talk about it.
Yeah, but no, I'm not taking a jab for you guys
No,
not
I know,
watching
I
my
know.
reviews. I'm
I'm
just saying
taking
you guys
a
are saying
jab.
very
He's
similar.
taking- everyone in the comments
I
will
can
take
totally
a
see it,
jab.
MK, and thank you so much for the donation. It
He
really
can't
means
hear
a
us,
lot.
but he's
Thank
definitely
you.
taking a jab at us.
We got Jarek again.
Thank you, Jarek.
Dylan, can we meet up after your dinner in New York City?
Yeah, absolutely, Jarek. You
Play
know
some
what?
Pokemon.
Yeah, play some Pokemon Go, dude. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm in.
Yeah. I didn't realize. No, I think I actually knew you were in NYC.
There's a
But
few.
yeah, that's awesome, Jarek. We got to do a big meetup with
Dylan
everyone
Con.
in the
Dylan
area.
Con.
Dylan Con 2019.
No, but that's awesome, Jarek. Yeah, maybe we'll all chill one day. Grab
Nicholas-
some pizza.
Nicholas
Thank you.
Horton.
Nicholas Horton.
I'm sad that Aoi died again, but this duel between Playmaker and Kusanagi could go either way, or it could end in a draw.
Yeah,
Yeah, it could.
yeah.
Which
Thank you,
the-
Nicholas.
I'm
Died
worried because
again.
he did Lightning did specifically say.
Well, Lightning said a draw is a loss for you.
Yeah.
You draw, you die,
Yeah.
and your brother dies. But I mean, basically, what Nicholas said, it could go either way or
It
a
could
draw.
go- it could
It
go-
could go anything
I
happen,
like the
which I
wild
like.
card option here, where maybe it's not the Knights, but maybe it's
I
Zyzen,
was
right?
gonna say
And
that too,
Soul,
yep.
because they're working on a way to log everyone out, right?
Hiyami, yeah.
Couldn't there be
Yeah,
a
wait.
cop out way of we log everyone out that you could plead the Lightning that we didn't? I know he's not someone who has sympathy, but that everyone got logged out. We didn't end it,
Right,
you know?
that's true. That's true. Maybe.
Because he brought it up, I can't be the only person to be excited to see Hiyami again.
I'm excited.
Come on.
Well, because Hiyami
Stop
is the
it.
link to the
Listen,
Knights.
Stop it! Yeah,
the spy.
with your
Hayami's the
spy,
spy
of
of
the
the Knights of the
No,
Knights.
No,
that
no,
is
no,
a
no,
true.
no,
Let me,
I
no,
don't
let me,
even
no,
I
let
don't
me
even
tell
care
you
about
something. Let me
that.
tell you something. This is exactly what's going to happen in the end of the season. This duel's going to go on for another 4 episodes until April. And and Yusaku's going to beat Kusanagi. He's going to beat Shoichi. Shoichi's going to die in front of him. He's going to rush to Lightning. And he's going to see Jin's consciousness get destroyed. Lightning's going to force him to log out. He's going to be in his room crying because he failed miserably.
I don't like where
there's
this is going.
there's going to be a hand placed on his shoulder. He's going to turn around and say, Mom?
And
And
it's
it'll be
Queen.
Queen. The Queen chess piece from Soltec. That's how the
Oh
season's going to
my
end.
God.
That would be absolutely amazing. I just don't see it happen.
I had an awesome thought in my head, and you just completely wiped it out of my. I don't even
Wait,
remember
was
what
your
it was.
consciousness removed?
Yeah. he
Holy
just
crap!
destroyed
That is
everything I
my
was
favorite
thinking of.
crack theory I've heard in a long time. I love that.
You've said that for
theory.
the past 3
I'm going to
episodes,
say it
I
every
think.
live
Okay,
stream.
good.
Every single live
He
stream, I'm going to
does-
integrate it.
Yeah, I said it.
What's
Yeah,
up,
we
John?
got Hocus Pocus.
Oh, she's great. Yeah,
Finally-
thank you, Hocus.
Finally caught a podcast. Good discussion so far, guys.
Thank you so much, Hocus. Australia, yes. Well, and that's,
I'm finally on the podcast. So I know the feeling.
Wow.
and that's the beautiful thing about the late night streams. My friends from Australia and Down Under. Speaking of Down Under, Matt Russo, a good friend of ours.
Yeah.
I reached out to him. I doubt he's watching, but he said he'd come on the podcast.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
so-
that'd be awesome.
he's studying in Melbourne, right? Getting his doctorate in
Melbourne, yeah.
Melbourne.
Yeah,
And-
Melbourne.
So
That's how they say it.
Yeah, it's Melbourne.
He's stop.
No,
No, that's how they say it.
It's Melbourne.
Melbourne.
no.
You're cultured.
not over there.
It's
technically,
Melbourne.
Yeah.
So it's Melvin.
Melbourne.
Melbourne.
Yeah, it's like that.
Wait, how do you say Sydney? Do you say it's Sydney?
No, Sydney.
No, it's just Sydney.
So why is it? Why is
It's like
born
Ask
Louisville. It's
the
like Louisville
Australians.
is Louisville.
to who?
The people that
So
live
the
in
people
Louisville.
down there, Louisville.
And
Well, the
Edinburgh
people
is
that-
Edinburgh.
Well, like I call Middletown M-Town, but it's
No,
actually
that's an
Middletown.
Okay,
abbreviation.
Hocus
It's
just
not a
said Dylan. It's
pronunciation.
pronounced Melbourne. So you lose.
Wait,
And like,
wait. Are
Some
you
shocking moments
Are you
here.
serious?
Yeah.
This is stunning. It's actually, it reminds me of a moment today. I was at Villa, and my bosses, who I've worked with for like 6 years, find out I had a YouTube channel, and they said, honestly, not surprised at all to hear you do YouTube. You have an amazing face for radio. And for like videos and stuff. And it's probably the first time they've complimented me since I've started working. there.
It's a sort of
and
compliment.
so it was like a very well. What do you mean? No,
amazing face for radio.
it's a little backhanded there, buddy.
He can't even keep his face straight.
well, like, it was,
You can't see anybody on the radio.
yeah, I'm aware.
Wait,
Well, actually, if you watch Mike Francesa, he's on the radio and television.
Yeah.
So
Melbourne. That's
Melbourne.
awesome.
Yeah.
Wait,
So,
so-
wait, does Matt call it Melbourne then? Anyway, he said he'd come
Yes.
on in August when he's home, and he's going to talk about like the differences between living in
does he
Australia.
watch the show though?
I don't think so, but he seemed pretty down when I reached out.
Oh, that'd
to
be
him.
awesome even to have him for regular questions.
Yeah,
That'd be
he's going to
great.
be in
He
August.
probably has a
Because I have a lot-
completely different perspective.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I mean. And so I'm very interested, like the difference between like
Wait,
people
Dylan,
in
we have
Australia.
an appropriate comment.
I know
for
with
it.
him, the
Just
people,
wanna-
the ladies in Australia.
Yeah, I just want to pick out. Yeah, we want to pick out one comment.
Okay,
here.
so Fender Bullet sent out a nice comment and said, Dylan can pronounce Japanese names, but can't speak English.
Very true.
I'm very surprised.
And DJ said face for radio is not a compliment, Dylan.
Wait, DJ's on the stream?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you, DJ.
Oh, Deej, how are you, bro?
DJ, dude, what a guy.
Now, before I forget, because I remembered my thought.
Yeah, what's your thought?
So,
Get back on
as I was kind of half joking, Hayami's the connection to everything.
You think
She's the spy for the Hanoi. And why I'm going to say that is because he's going to say, by any means necessary, log them out. Well, guess who's going to have that code? The Knights of Hanoi. And she's going to get it from them. And they're going to make it look like Soltech logged everyone out so that they don't get caught hacking into the system.
I will say this about Hayami. If she is the spy of the Knights of Hanoi,
She's doing an
excellent.
amazing job.
I would be
Excellent.
so happy. But John, you go.
Yeah, Synchro above all. Not a Man U fan, but wow, y'all trust PSG.
Thank you so much, dude. Hey, you know what? Respect, man. I appreciate it.
Chris Swan
Thank you for the
again.
donation. Thank you, Chris.
Soulburner screws it up and forces a draw.
I hope not. I really.
Someone's got to screw it up.
Cal,
so-
do you have an answer to the soul burner comment there?
Cal's a very big soul burner fan.
I think that it's a possibility that Soulburner gets screwed up. I don't think he gets involved in this.
No,
one.
I don't think he'll get involved. Well, that's the thing that I love. All these characters are held hostage by Lightning and Bowman.
I know.
Yeah.
They're stuck in these virtual worlds and they can't move.
You know what's weird? The other day, well, it was the other week when you were doing the podcast, you guys were talking and you were like, oh, there hasn't been kind of like a battle tournament arc on this show yet.
Yeah.
This is kind
Kind of
of
a
like
tournament
that.
arc.
So
You
we're
know,
getting a tiny bit of like a taste of version of
Yeah,
it.
actually, this feels a lot like towards the end of Battle City when they're on the blimp. You know, with
it's still a formal tournament though in Battle City.
it is, but like the way everyone's
an
sort of falling
informal
toward.
tournament,
Wasn't there were a few deaths on the blimp?
Oh, yeah.
against
We're not supposed to jump off the board.
There was on the
Against-
Hindenburg as
against-
well.
I died. Everyone who dueled Marek died.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Everyone that dueled Merrick died. So in a sense, this sort of feels like that, where like people are dying left and right.
Wow.
We
Yeah.
lost Blood Shepherd, Owie. We lost Spectre,
Windy on the other
So, like,
side. Haru.
Exactly.
I mean,
so we're
both
seeing a
teams
lot
have
of,
taken
it
hits.
feels the same way because they're sort of all trapped in a way in enclosed
Yep.
space.
I almost like it better than a tournament in this sense because you don't know what duel's next. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know who's going to win. You
And
don't
there's
know
a
what
lot
the
of
final
plot.
duel's going to be.
Sure, yeah.
And again, after this duel ends, which again, we know we have one more next week. After this duel ends, we have maybe only 2 episodes until hopefully the opening changes. Still don't have confirmation.
Right.
And the ending changes. Like that's and then when that happens, it's going to be new visuals. It's going to be a new season. So like,
Wait, so when they both change, it's going to be a new season.
most likely, unless the opening doesn't
You're
change.
suggesting there's probably 2 episodes of the season.
Well,
then.
we know that the ending for a fact is changing in April, which could be April 6th or it could be like April 27th.
Yeah.
But no matter, I think I got my dates right, my Wednesdays right. But no matter what,
27th is a Saturday.
oh, so I completely butchered my
Yeah,
dates.
it's okay.
Either way,
Yikes.
we only have 2 or after this duel ends, 2 or 6 episodes left before the season ends. Like, there's not enough time.
No.
People are like, oh, there's enough time. You got Revolver versus Lightning.
Which is
No.
why they're not wrapping up this Ignis storyline in
no.
this season.
And the final season, Soul Tech needs to get more involved. They have to get more
I
involved.
honestly
I
like the
think
idea
Soul
we've
Tech
talked
is
about
the
before.
final
Yeah.
season.
I like the multiple villains kind of thing.
I
We
agree.
talked about that before.
I agree.
Keeping Lightning and them around, building up Queen, maybe seeing who King is.
Yeah.
I think all those things are interesting.
There's it has to be like I as much as I would like it to for that to be them. I think it has to be. There was no justification for what they did to Earth without it actually being them as the final villain.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Which is someone also who caught up. Them realizing when it was in Go, that was really sad too.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah.
What do you think about Go?
I mean, I've said it since the beginning of this whatever change that he's going through.
Yeah.
I don't agree with it. I don't like it. I like it for the show. I
Right,
think it's
right,
very,
right.
very
I
interesting
completely
writing.
agree.
Love that.
Yeah.
But if I'm talking about the characters, I think it's a really messed up thing he did.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
I think the way you described it is that he kind of let it get the best of him, and he described that more in their 2-episode duel or whatever.
Yeah.
Of saying that the only way out of this hole is I have to beat you and stuff like that. Maybe I can be the charismatic or whatever duelist I used to be.
Charisma, yeah.
Yeah.
Duelist I used to be. But I have to beat you first. And look at the lengths he's willing to go to.
He's willing to die.
He literally is.
He's lost himself
Has an
completely.
Ignis.
He
in his
isn't.
head.
He
Yeah.
isn't himself anymore.
Well, and that's the thing. That's why people are like, well, maybe Bowman can, absorb. But Bowman needs the Earth Ignis. They need the Earth. He needs the Earth Ignis to become this divine.
to-
So at some
which
point,
means
they have
Go.
to go through Go, who's now probably in some Soul Technology lab room. That's how you
Yeah.
get Soul Tech involved. And like that cannot happen in the next 5 episodes
No.
with everything else going on. There's no way.
And it's very interesting too how they logged him out.
Yeah,
There is a way.
Oh, but it's got to be. It's going to be so
Well,
quick. Don't rush it.
What
dude.
what I'm saying is there's a quick way to do it, in that Soul Tech's way of trying any means necessary to get them out is sending Go back in.
Right.
You send Go in after this duel, and he immediately gets caught back up by Lightning and Bowman. It could be a quick half an episode duel.
Yeah.
He could come back in and be like, "I got this," and they could just destroy him.
But what does that do for his character, John? We have some.
Yeah, I got.
Puts it
I
back
got
to square one.
got a
I
feel.
got 4 donations.
Okay, thank
Wow.
you guys so much. Jesus, thank you.
Got Goose.
Thank
Goose.
Goose, the man. Thank you so much, dude.
Have
You're
a
the
fun
best.
have a fun weekend though, and hope Kusanagi doesn't pull a Kaiba from Duel's Kingdom. I vote for Playmaker. I think Bowman will turn on Lightning.
Yeah,
I agree with
I agree
Bowman
with that.
turning
Yeah,
on
it's the
Lightning.
biggest
We're
base
building
move.
to that.
Kaiba
Yeah.
from Duelist City threatened to jump off the side of a building if Yugi attacked him,
Oh, yeah.
defeated him, and so Yugi just surrendered. For those of you that forget,
I
or
forgot
didn't
about
watch Duel
that.
Monsters,
That's
yeah.
really messed. I remember
Yeah.
watching it as a kid, and I'm like, "What's
Yeah,
the-"
That's
wrong.
how villains are portrayed, bro.
That's it.
That's
And,
excellent.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Goose.
Yeah, he
You're
was
the man,
super
dude.
gaslighting Yugi.
Yeah.
So-
We have Photon.
Photon.
Do you think Revolver will save everyone since he's been put in the background? Seems like they can swerve us, and Revolver will beat the main villain.
I'd love
it's
it.
possible. I think that'd be cool.
The main rival of Arc 5 beat the main villain of this arc last 3 years ago when Synchro was going on.
be
Akiba
cool.
Reiji beat Jean-Michel Raget, and Yuya
That
did not
name
beat
is
him.
ridiculous,
I
by
love
the
that
way.
name. Now, I'm not comparing Jean-Michel Raget to Lightning or Bowman because that's a ridiculous comparison. That guy was a joke, and Akiba Reiji wiped the floor with him. But that being said, that was probably the first time that I can remember that a rival that was not the main protagonist defeated the main villain. So it happened in the last show around this time.
I would absolutely love that.
I would love it
love
too.
Ryoken.
I would love
that
it
would
too.
be
Yeah, that'd be
freaking
cool.
awesome.
Let Revolver be the one to beat
my
Lightning.
God.
I'd love it.
He deserves it.
That's going to be an amazing duel when that happens. That duel has to happen. Revolver versus Lightning.
And I feel like that takes away from like the plot armor aspect of it's Playmaker Lightning and Playmaker's going to win.
Right.
Like it's like, wow, it's Revolver versus Lightning. You really don't know how that duel's going
No.
to turn out.
No, and that's what I like about
And
it.
there's so much backstory there, you know, of his father, everything that happened.
Yeah.
Like when he has these conversations, or I should say, when he did have these conversations with Spectre on the boat. I think it shows a lot about his character, about when they're watching and where he was just like, oh, with Go, my father had a similar thing like this too, and he took it in the wrong direction as well.
Absolutely.
Like so
Yeah,
there's all these
absolutely.
little character moments
Yeah.
where he's not that evil. Like he might be hardline, he might be the opposite end of the spectrum, but he is saving the human race, right? That's the idea.
That's the idea.
So technically we should root for him in that way.
He's not evil, but he's not a good guy.
He's an
No,
anti-hero.
he's like
And
an
he literally
idiot. He's
said
like
that.
a Punisher character.
Yeah. That's why I love Revolver.
Yeah,
I
he's
really
great.
do.
Great.
And, well,
Great.
And I hope he beats
He's a
Playmaker.
vigilante.
Yeah.
Honestly, I do.
I think a Revolver Lightning duel would be important, not because if you look at it, Playmaker would want to beat Lightning because he's trying to save humanity, right? But in Lightning versus Revolver, it's almost that they have an equal and opposite level of contempt, where Lightning has so much contempt and hatred and wants to eliminate humans, whereas Revolver feels the same exact way, but in reverse.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And our heroes are literally
It's
in
not
the
really.
middle.
It's not good or bad. It's they hate each other
Yeah.
and want to destroy each other.
That's why I cannot wait until hopefully the show gets to a 4-horse battle. Soltech, the Knights, the Evil Ignis, and then Playmaker and Owie on that side. And that's going to be like a 4-horse race where you don't know what the hell is going to happen in the next episode. Can't wait till it gets to that. Also, for people asking about the March summaries, we might get them within the next 6 hours, honestly. If we do not get them before Friday morning in the States, I will not be able to cover them until Monday. So hopefully we do get them Thursday. And they should be the 94, 95, maybe even the 96 summaries. So I'm because right now we know nothing past 93. And the 93 summary doesn't really give anything besides what the preview gave. So the community, even those that keep track of spoilers, we have no idea what's happening, which is cool. We have some more stuff.
Yeah, Elizabeth W.
Okay.
Thanks for the surprise podcast. Stressed for midterm.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. She said stress for midterm.
Stressed for midterm.
Elizabeth,
Yes.
Good luck on the midterm.
Great luck on
Good
your
luck.
midterm.
Good
It's
luck.
not easy, but you'll get through it. We're all rooting for you. We're all rooting for you. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Good luck. Good luck.
One more from Matt Hernandez. Love the podcast and episode reviews. Keep up the good work, Dylan.
Hey, thank you so much, Matt. Thank you so much. I know the last 2 months, I've really, besides these podcasts and episode reviews, I haven't done too much scripted stuff. So I do apologize for that, but I'm glad that people do enjoy the reviews and the cast list analysis and these podcasts and all that stuff. So I promise that once I get into a better balance and rhythm with grad school, because this is my first semester, and YouTube and just regular life, there will be more scripted stuff to come. So thank you so much, Matt. Thank you for the donation, man. It really means the world. I appreciate it.
Oh, I also wanted to point out Dylan's going to be in Florida this weekend. But me, Nick, and maybe Pete, depending on his work schedule, we're just going to break into his house and we're going to do this live again on Saturday.
I wish.
Just wanted to let you guys
Awesome.
know ahead of time. Yeah.
That was an option that I gave you guys.
That's an
I said
option.
maybe I
Let's do 11 p.m. Saturday. Let's just come back
I'm
there all over.
not
I have
opposed
the
to it.
equipment. You can just walk right down here and set it
And
up.
we're
It's
just
not
going
hard
to
to set up.
completely
We'll just-
random one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in.
It's going to be all personal
I
questions.
have family dinner, so they might be a little disappointed that I don't show up.
It'll be all personal questions about
yeah.
my life that you'll answer.
Well, we're adding to the lore. Remember?
Right, so
Right. So let's discuss. I think we had one email question. If you want to read that.
We did have an email.
Yeah, we'll read the email question. You can email us at dylandappyf@gmail.com. 2 P's, 2 Y's, and an F.
Dude, how many emails do you have?
A lot. I have a lot of emails. I have a lot of emails. That one was made. The F stands for fan mail.
while
we
John
have,
finds the email question, we got another dono
yeah.
from
Okay.
Rex Kendricks.
Thank you, Rex.
And it says many manly tears will be shed next week.
Yeah, you're absolutely right,
Yeah,
dude.
unfortunately.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be sad.
And another one
Another
from
one.
Joseph to Disco.
Thank you,
Lightning
Joseph.
uses Spectre to create a new Earth.
Oh, I see what he's saying.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Wow.
Well, that's I think weeks ago when it happened, I had mentioned would they be able to get stuff because that's who they're connected
Dude, and
to?
you know what was so effing bizarre? When Bowman absorbs Aqua and you see the tattoos and marks on his back and you see the earth symbol and then the water symbol, I just realized the earth symbol is probably symbolizing Spectre, not the earth Ignis.
Yeah.
Oh.
Dude, Joseph, you just blew my mind, man. That's
Never
probably
know.
what that meant. And so maybe there is a way to omit the earth Ignis because of Spectre somehow, and they don't need to actually get the earth Ignis because of
Go.
that.
That'd be very interesting.
Wow, maybe that's what it means. I thought that was weird that we saw the Earth symbol on Bowman's back. Because when
Yeah.
did Bowman get Earth?
Yeah,
Never.
technically he didn't.
He's
Wow,
he's a
that's-
creepy individual.
And so
man.
maybe that's what Lightning meant by you have your not purpose. You have your usefulness. Not in the sense of we're going to use you to dual revolver. In the sense of you can be a substitute for the Earth Ignis.
Yep.
Wow. Thank you, Joseph, for the donation and the comment, and thank you, Rex, as well for the donation. Thank you, guys. Really making my night here. I appreciate it.
So the question from Azira Nesbar. Hope I'm saying that right, Nesbar. So the question: do any of you expect / want Queen to duel? Who would you like to see kick her butt? I personally want a Queen versus Revolver duel since she's definitely responsible for the initial death of Dr. Kogami, so Revolver would want revenge, right?
Great question.
That's the perfect duel. I think.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That's absolutely who
She's
I wanna
100%
see Queen
responsible.
duel, yeah. Because I mean, yeah, like you said, she's 100%. She's the reason he's done. Like everything got pushed onto him, and she's still behind the scenes making things happen.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I mean, maybe I misspoke.
By heavy
with
assumption, maybe?
100% responsible because he himself is responsible. He did partake in that. It wasn't. He didn't. You know, that wasn't done by Soltech alone. The lost incident.
Yeah.
However, it was put on him and swept under the rug by Soltech, and to separate themselves entirely from that incident. And I think they are heavily at fault for that.
She played a vital
I
role.
mean,
directly resulted in his
She
death.
hurt him in two different areas. She hurt him literally in his health wise, right? That ends up happening, and she hurt his entire professional reputation.
Oh, he was done. He was done.
So,
But you know,
there would be a lot built up.
But you
there.
know what twist I would love even more if
that?
we learned that Kogami. What do you? What?
I thought you were gonna say that she's Yusaku's mom.
I thought he was going to say it again. I really did.
Oh,
It's
I'm
my
so-
favorite crack theory.
I'm so disappointed. That was such a good opportunity to say it, and I didn't even think
We
to
all
say it.
thought you were gonna say it.
Oh
too.
man, I was the only one in this room that didn't think I was gonna. Damn it, man, that would have been so great. Honestly, not joking around. What I would have loved is if they reveal that the king chess piece was Dr. Kogami. Because that shows,
That would be
I think,
nuts.
even more over how wicked she is and how
That she
power hungry
topples
she
over
is.
the king, yeah.
That she gets over the
knocks the
king,
king down.
and she's now the head of Soltech. Would love that. Man.
Answering the other part of the question,
But yes,
like,
that's a great duel.
I think the Revolver Queen matchup would be probably the best one, right?
I
Yeah.
agree.
But there's a part of me that doesn't want to see her duel at all. Because, like, I don't know, her sitting in that position of power where she's the one, the puppeteer, so to say, of pulling all the strings, I kind of like that position for my villain. I like it with Lightning that he gets his hands dirty when he needs to. That fits his character. But with Queen being that businesswoman only caring about expanding the company and things like that, I wouldn't mind if she doesn't duel, honestly.
That's fair. Or it doesn't duel till maybe the last fight.
Yeah.
That's usually what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I think that would be it would show like her position of power.
I'm still
more
just
than anything else.
praying that Soltech ends up having a pretty big role in the show and that she
They have
is
to.
a major villain because again, we've never in the anime had a girl main villain in Yugioh. I think it would be so cool if it's Queen.
Yeah.
And not forget the whole guy girl thing. I think she's just a very interesting character.
She's great.
Very.
She's great.
Forget about the gender, honestly.
Well, if you're
Yeah, I mean,
thinking
she's
of it,
so
she makes Akira squirm. Like,
yeah,
just by, like,
she makes me every time
Oh,
she's
yeah.
on, and they've used her so sparingly and geniusly
Yeah.
that every time she is on
You're like,
screen,
oh, you
I'm
get
like sitting back
uncomfortable.
in my chair, like, oh god, what's she gonna do? Like, is she
Yep.
about to kill someone? Is she
Right.
about to fire this man?
I
Like,
honestly feel like I mean, I like my boss in real life, but I'm saying as if I were like in a position where I hated my boss, like I get that feeling, like that's how I'd feel. Like she's like walking in the room,
queasy,
you're like, oh
uneasy,
god,
like-
what's about? Like, am I gonna get yelled at?
Yeah,
Or,
we've
like,
all been there.
Am I gonna get
We've
screwed
all been
right
there.
now? Like,
the air thins in the room.
Yeah.
as they walk
She
in.
makes Akira feel like he's worthless, right? He calls himself a lapdog.
Yeah.
So he knows what he is in her eyes, his worth.
Yeah.
And I think that provides an interesting power dynamic within Soltech, and I really do enjoy that. And so if she never dueled, I'd be cool with that. Because every time you're with her, she's calm, she's collected, she knows exactly what she's going to do, and you're just on the edge of your seat.
The only time
And I like that.
the only time we've seen her angry is when like Akira went against her wishes and logged Go out. I
Yeah.
think it was him who logged Go
Yeah,
out, right?
yeah.
And she looked very angry, and like she was angry at her employee for saving a man's life,
Oh,
Which
in
is kind of
essence.
their also property.
it doesn't
too.
say true. Yeah.
Like that's crazy, dude. So she, there's more to be desired with her, and I hope we get it because I think she's been very interesting.
Also, if
Soltech
they-
is so cool.
If they make her the main villain, right? You have a female main villain in, say, the last arc. You have an AI main villain in the middle arc, and you have a human man
Oh
villain
Yeah.
in the first
Yeah,
arc.
all-
so
all bases
they
covered.
they hit every single
Yeah,
aspect.
that'd be
right
really
there,
cool.
so-
That'd be really cool.
Well, they didn't cover the child villain arc, so we missed that.
Yeah, they did because Jin is holding on to
That's true,
lightning.
yeah, they
so
kinda combined it,
he's
dude.
kind of a
I
child.
kind of combined it.
He doesn't have a memory.
But yeah, hopefully you guys are
Consciousness.
enjoying talking Yu-Gi-Oh! Into the Vrains episode 6. We started here. What's the name of the
Where it began.
Where it began.
started
That's
here.
perfect for you to say it like that.
Where it began. It's a running joke that I don't remember the names
You
of these
always mess it up.
podcasts.
Yeah,
It's
there's
not even
definitely
a joke.
meme out there.
But yeah, but thank you guys so much for joining us. I know it's a late Wednesday night stream, or if you're listening to it or watching it afterwards. Yes,
We have a question from David Lewis.
perfect.
Our guy.
Where is Wasp?
Where?
Thank God, not here.
Well, yeah. So on my Purple Channel streams, I don't think I can say the word on YouTube. On my Purple Channel streams, twice in the last month, huge wasps have come down and attacked
Wait,
me.
another one too?
Well, there was one before. When you were on, it was
there
the
was
second
two
one.
different live
Two
streams.
different
So it was
occasions.
you guys, you know, when
Wait,
you were
like
doing
in
your
here?
purple live stream.
Literally, like, yeah, flying around.
And then there was another one where
gotta
you
go.
were doing. Was it Mario?
It was Super Mario.
Yeah.
I didn't realize
We
that.
had one wasp in this basement in the first 15 years we've been in this house.
There's
We've
got to be a
had
nest somewhere.
Yeah, well, my brother, and my brother's, he's a troll. You guys know my brother.
Absolute
and we're
troll.
out to dinner Friday night. This was just recently Friday night. We went to Nilam, an Indian restaurant.
Oh,
Love
excellent,
Nilam.
excellent food.
Incredible
Nilam.
food, incredible cuisine. And so we're eating, and my brother just goes, "Yeah, well, now that I think about it, because he works out, he's very well built at this point, and I'm not, and he's working out." And he goes, "Yeah, every time I work out, I hear a buzzing in like the ceiling of the basement." And my mom just goes, "Well, why didn't you tell us earlier?" And he's like, "Well, I just figured it was like the lighting or something." Now, I don't know if he's messing around.
I swear.
Because obviously that means
That
there could
honestly
be a
could
wasp
go
nest.
either
Well, is
way,
that a wasp
to be
right up
honest.
there on the ceiling.
Don't you?
No,
fu-
it's a slit in the, you knew that, you asshole. It actually,
I did.
dude, it actually looks kind of
Right?
like a wasp.
Right? Right?
It's not a wasp.
I did want to ask anyone down in the
Guy-
community.
guy-
Swear
guys-
jar.
Guy's an
Did
idiot.
anyone gif the Nick T diving under the table?
I clipped it. If you go to Dylan,
I see the clip, but I want like a 3-second gif of just you going under the table
Dylan
and
jumping
Dylan
over.
jumping over. If anyone hasn't done that already, please put that in the comments below or send it to my Twitter, please, because I want that just for future
Don't
reference.
encourage
so
them.
thank you.
Don't encourage
wasp
them.
dust nobody.
Yeah, that he's
the
Sam's
boy.
great. Speaking of Wasp Dust Nobody, which is Stardust Nobody, he is responsible for these thumbnails.
Did he donate as then?
He did donate as that name. I always
just
incorporate
so
him.
he could be up there on the donation.
So thank you
Wasp
to
Lives
Wasp
Matter.
Dust. Thank you to Sam for always making the thumbnails for these podcasts. Do we have any other questions from the chat? Hopefully you
Yeah.
guys are enjoying this.
Ask
But
us
yeah.
anything. This is the everything
Yeah,
portion.
this is first half Yu-Gi-Oh, second half everything. You want to
That's
get to know us a
exciting
little
for me.
Want to get to know us a little
Dill,
better?
Can you repeat the email? Elizabeth asked what the email was. She said she tried to send one last week, but it didn't get to you.
Dylan Dappy, DylanDappyF at gmail.com. I think Cal's probably typing it in the chat. Send any
Dappy,
questions.
yeah.
We can't answer all of them because we do get quite a bit, so we might have gotten yours, Elizabeth. But we'll be on the lookout for, again, 10 days from now when we do it again on Saturday.
I hope I put that in right.
Looks right. Looks right.
All right, cool.
Perfect. Any questions?
Yes, Stardust Nobody asked if you could tell us the story about me and the Jonas sister.
Hey, Dale, please enlighten us on this story.
I'm intrigued.
Well, I mean, are you dated her? Do you want to, maybe you've censored that from your mind. Do you want to talk about it?
Well, my consciousness was taken from me a while ago, so you're going to have to explain this one for me.
All right. Well, so I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Jonas Brothers. Congratulations to them and their fan base. They just got back together
Yes, they
recently.
did.
Oh,
Their
yeah,
new
yeah.
single.
Which
It's
is
pretty
awesome.
not bad.
My dad texted
and they
me
say
about
they're
that.
back together in the song.
Haven't heard their new singer.
It's good.
Their mother lives very close to me, right?
Not true.
Their grandmother?
No. So I'll
Somebody,
fill in the lore.
somebody
No,
who used to
they're-
play drums.
to play their drums. Jack Lawless.
Yes.
Who played on their original records. Great guy, actually. He
Really nice dude.
Yeah.
And he
He
ties
lives
into
around-
the
he
story.
lives
That's
around the
why.
corner.
Yeah, he ties into the story.
Yeah, so he lives right down the block from where Dylan grew up. Two of
Don't
our
look
other
up
friends
his
grew up.
address.
Yeah, please. I don't think you can find Jack.
So anyway, back to the Cal and the Jonas sister. Cal was known to be a bit of a player back in high school. You know,
was.
and
He
that's
was a
all right.
playmaker.
I played a lot of
he's-
video
He's
games.
still a bit of a player, if you know what I mean. I mean, if we added up our 4 number counts and then we multiplied that by 20, I think we'd maybe be in the range of him. Guy's a legend. That's all I'm saying. He's a god.
You're not wrong.
Ran rough shot right through the cheerleading team. Guy's a dude. And so Jack Lawless. Jack Lawless got very close with the Jonas Brothers and, in essence, the Jonas sister while he played drums at their recording studio. So Jack Lawless was dating the Jonas sister when he moved into our town.
Right, of course.
They both went to high school together. And Cal one day asked me, hey, who's that really pretty girl, that clearly has a boyfriend, but I'm still going to ask because I'm kind of one of those. And I said, that's Jack Lawless. And he meant, no, dude, the girl. And I didn't know, who he was referring to in terms of attraction. So I said, oh, that's the Jonas sister. And none of us knew her name because she would write Jonas sister, on the your name line for those assignments. And so
She would write Jonas sister.
she would write Jonas sister. That's what she went by. That was her stage
So it's
name.
protecting her identity, kind of thing.
Exactly. And so Cal then, he asked me if she was on the cheerleading team. I said, I don't think so. I don't know why that matters. But Cal ended up I mean, how was it? He ended up just seeing her, right? He ended up.
I think
Well, I was burning up for her. That's really what it was.
He was burning up for her.
I think one day we
It
went
was
out to
it
dinner
was at,
or
it was,
something.
It was at
right?
an Etienne Basher. I
Was
believe.
it?
Oh, the Clark Basher.
It wasn't
an
it was
Etienne
a Cl- It was
Basher.
a Clark Basher.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and I think she ended up being there one day, right? He took her in there or whatever, and then
Yeah.
eventually Calibro, had a little liquid courage, and he started sliding over there. He pinned her against the wall, kind of thing. Started talking to her.
Hold on. Whoa.
No, the whole
Oh,
arm.
the implication.
The arm
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
arm.
No, it wasn't. There was nothing against Will.
No, we're not against Will here. Kind of like the story that Jordan's been describing on Twitter lately. Of
hold on.
3-year
Oh, wow.
anniversary
Wait,
over
all
there. Where you totally choked?
I did.
Yeah, were you totally
stop
choked?
talking about me choking.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if he choked because he's with her now.
Yeah.
I mean, for that moment, he did choke. She herself said,
But
she
it
was
worked
pretty
out.
mad.
It worked out.
Had he made his
Luckily.
move that
You never
night,
know.
And it's
You never
more.
know.
Might
It's
not
more.
have
The,
worked
it's
out.
more the universe had it. Like it just worked out.
It was gonna
wasn't
happen
Nick
either
T, doing anything that made it work out.
okay, I don't.
Can we
disagree
agree with that?
I don't disagree with
Okay.
that. Look, but yeah, great story. So anyway, he ended up having kind of like a hookup session with the Jonas sister. Jack found out. Jack beat you up pretty bad. I'm surprised you don't remember that.
Well, that's probably
why
why.
he does that. That's probably why.
That was my sixth concussion. So
Six concussion for very similar reasons, if you catch my drift. And so
playing soccer, but yeah.
Jack beat him up, and yeah, that's
goal
the
doesn't mean
story
you
of Cal and the Jonas sister. Thank you for asking, Sam.
Yeah.
Really
We
appreciate
have
it.
Wow.
one more donation
Yes.
from Chris.
Thank you so much, Chris.
Who has the best chair?
Who has the best chair?
Ooh.
I mean, I do.
You do have the best
Definitely,
chair.
by
but
far.
I
who is
am
the
the
best
best
chair.
chair.
Cal's the best chair.
Cal's the best chair. I'm not going to argue that.
And I still contend that they were more sinister question. That
Really?
that was a sinister question.
don't-
Yeah, I
When
agree.
Jordan
Thank you
asked
for
it.
the donation and the
Dylan,
question, Chris. Yeah.
The Reaper said that they were promised a CalCam, but you've not delivered.
Oh, yeah, where's the cow cam
What's that
been?
Cal cam?
No.
I don't have the audio synced
That's
up
okay.
for
Just
it.
real quick.
Oh, that's
Okay.
fine. You could just have me talking with no words
That's
coming
what
out. of
happened
it.
He
last
has had
time.
that before. Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen,
The cow
we are
cam.
switching
Oh God.
to the cow cam. There he is.
Oh.
Look at him.
Is he- oh wait, actually no, we have audio on it. We do have audio.
Oh,
on it.
wow.
It's beautiful.
Do we?
We have
You
audio.
guys
yeah.
can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
You hear me on the CalCam?
It's actually the cow and Nick T cam right
God.
now.
What's
It's the Nick
Yeah,
cam.
yeah, we got to fix that. No one wants to see the Nick
What
T
the?
cam.
Wow, you just got
Just
that was
zoom in
insulting.
a little bit more.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Everyone's gonna see every single
Guys, that hurts.
nook and
That's-
cranny on my face.
That's what they want to see. That's what they pay the donations for.
That's what they pay
This
the
is
big
what
bucks to see.
pays the bills. DJ chiming in.
What did you say?
He said, "Pinned her against the wall." Pinned her against the wall.
That's
Yeah.
my laptop.
We're getting there.
Oh,
We're
there
work
we
in
go.
shout out to
progress.
the fraud pod.
yeah. Shout out to Fraud.
Fraud is here, dude. Frank
hey,
was
how's
here.
it going?
Such a dope guy.
Is he back?
I agree with Chris Swan here with hashtag more Nick, less Cal.
I like that. Oh,
Chris, I always knew I liked
Oh,
Chris.
No,
see,
no,
I
I
met-
get that. No, I'm for that.
I messed up the main camera now. so
Oh God.
Yeah, that sucks. Let me fix that real quick.
Oh, thanks.
John is no longer.
Say, you just cut John out of the
Oh, that
stream.
was almost 2 weeks ago now. Yeah, it's the shave. You know, a couple days in, and it
You know what's really sad? Later tonight, I have to shave this.
Don't do it.
And
Don't do it.
I'm really upset about it.
in nice.
I know, and I'm really
do it.
upset
Why
about
do
it.
you
do
have to
it.
shave?
I mean, I can only have it for so long before like it starts really like bothering my face.
Well, that's fine. Just,
Plus at work, like how far can I push my doctor's note? So
That's what you use the doctor's
oh
note.
yeah, of course. That's the only reason why I've been able to grow this. So
Just get it now and know from your dermatologist.
I think.
But now, how are you going to attract the women of the night that you normally attract?
no, and it's totally
That
true.
is true.
Yeah.
It's totally
I
true.
know it is.
They're gonna think I'm like 14.
Well, I've got to be honest. I started growing out a beard, as you guys can tell.
I love
I
it.
can tell. I can tell.
And
Brad.
I said hello to a girl that I saw at Villa, and she said hi back, and it was the first time in probably 2 years that she did not walk away from me.
Did you have a continued conversation, or was it just
No,
hi?
it was a hello, like kind of like one of those looks, and then just.
and it
like
was
a
kind of
look.
like awkwardly
Well,
standing
that's
there.
why I want to have Matt on the podcast because our friend that's in Australia. I want to ask him like what it's like to go through life as an attractive human being.
Yeah, it's
Because he was a very that was the food chain back in high school. I would have a crush on a girl. Caliber would come in, he'd steal her away from me, and then Russo would come in and he would yeah.
Okay, the second half of that might be true.
that's absolutely true, including your sister.
No, he took.
Oh wow! All right.
Well, that's
we went there.
That's one way to end the podcast.
That's one of those.
Oh, we
classic
got a
moments. I
donation
can't
from
wait to
Kevin
clip that.
Robinson.
Thank you, Kevin.
Will the final duel
I
of
got
VRAINS be
myself
Soulburner
into?
versus Playmaker,
Fun.
I versus
Yes.
Playmaker, or Playmaker versus Revolver? What do you guys want to see? I personally think it's going to be I versus Playmaker, and it's going to be a very friendly, like, oh, let's see if you can beat, like, if you can win without me type thing, and then they're going to go.
Oh, so there's gonna be no stakes with
other.
that? You think it's
Yeah,
just gonna be
no
like a
stakes.
joke duel?
Usually the final duel is a ceremony.
No
Well,
stakes,
yeah.
Well,
joke kind of
I can
duel.
see
I
that.
agree with
Kevin, thank you for getting us back on track, and thank you for the donation, man. Playmaker versus I is going to be the final duel.
Absolutely.
I would rather see Playmaker versus Revolver, just to be completely
I think
honest.
I said that to you.
I
versus
probably
Playmaker thing a
would,
while
but I
ago.
think it'd be fun.
Especially if they became really good friends by kind of that
Like,
point, but they're
I
still
think-
rivals.
Yeah.
I don't want to see Playmaker versus Revolver. I want to see Ryukin versus Yusaku.
That's deep. It's
Wow,
like
that touched my heart.
they all
right
say
there.
yee haw, but they never say haw yee. That's basically what you just said.
That's exactly what I
This
just
is
that
what
was-
happens when we do podcasts at, like at night.
after dark.
You know, like, didn't they have an arc 5 ending where like you could see like the other like 3 like protagonists like in like
Should I
some kind
read
of
this
weird
one?
thing?
Yeah, go
for it,
What
go
if
for
what
it.
if in the background at the end you see like Konami standing behind Ryoken and maybe
Kagami.
Kusanagi's he's dead.
Oh, yeah.
So like you see him behind like Yusaku.
That
I
would
think
be cool.
You could do some kind of cool stuff.
Yeah, it'd be like, nice.
We got a donation from Chris Swan.
Thank you, Chris.
And it says the final duel will be Dylan versus Playmaker, but Cal steals his girlfriend.
Yikes.
Holy
that was high school. What do you mean? That's not brains. That was
And you know what stinks about that is if you are
Thank
in
you
the
for the
VRAINS,
donation, Chris.
even in the virtual reality world, you still lose to him. That's really sad.
I know people use virtual reality as an escape.
But nope.
We got 2 more donations.
Oh, dude, thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much. Really,
Rex.
Rex Kendricks.
Rex, yeah, Rex
Yeah,
Kendricks.
Thank you, Rex.
How can forgive me for butchering this. Takeru
Oh,
Takeru.
Takeru.
Takeru. Remember his parents, but Yusaku can't, even though he remembers his name and last name.
Right, but I guess basically just asking how does Yusaku not know his parents?
Not-
Not, like he hasn't looked for them. I think is the only thing I can
Right.
really think.
Thank
of.
you, Rex, for the donation. To answer that
There's been
quickly,
no discussion of his parents.
it's bizarre.
bizarre.
It's bizarre, and people have pointed that out. Like, what happened to his parents? If we go the whole show without ever knowing what happened to his parents, I will say that was a bit of a disappointment.
The only thing I can think of is whatever happened to his parents had to be pre-Lost Incident, because you have to figure Soulburner went through the Lost Incident, was reconnected with his parents, and then everything horrible happened.
Well-
but you have to figure everything that happened to Yusaku's parents happened before Lost Incident, and that's why he wasn't
but he
reconnected.
seemed like such a fun, happy kid before Ryoken kidnapped him.
But Yusaku's mom is queen, so we know it. know
I mean, you
about
know
his
what? It
mom.
does add
Supporting the theory.
validity to the theory, because she could have just handed him over.
Yeah.
That'd be really dark.
Done.
I will say though.
Oh
that-
wait! Oh, we know
Whoa,
Ryoken actually
swear
lured him.
jar.
Sorry, that'd be messed up.
We actually know
Demonetized.
Ryoken lured him into the
Yeah.
Lost
Yeah.
Incident, but still, whatever.
I do want to say
Demonetized.
though that it's possible maybe just because when people have traumatic incidents and memory loss, sometimes you just remember it more than other people do.
Yeah.
It's
You know,
not the same
sometimes
for
it just
everyone.
affects you more. Maybe it's as simple as Soulburner's connection to his parents, which is a deeper emotional connection. And you have to remember, he, as you said, pre-Lost Incident, he lost them because of the Lost Incident. They were out looking for him,
And they got in an
then that's
accident.
accident, which everyone dies in car accidents apparently in the show.
That's what it is.
And that's what happened. So maybe he feels more guilt with that.
Yeah.
And because it's like, even though it wasn't his fault, it's his fault that he wasn't there kind of thing, that kind of complex.
Yeah.
And that's why.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, we don't really know. I mean, maybe just Yusaku shuts that part of himself off.
Yeah,
And
I
that's
agree.
why he literally could remember it if something triggers it, but he chooses not to.
Sure, absolutely.
Also, we saw what
Trauma works in
Homura
weird
did
ways.
right after the Lost Incident. We did not see what Yusaku did right after the
Exactly.
Lost Incident.
Which is
So,
all material for another 50 episodes.
we need to see it. But thank you for the donation and the great question,
And we
man.
got
Thank you.
Thrifty B.
Thrifty B, thank you so
with
much.
a pretty accurate statement. You have some interesting friends, Dylan.
I agree with that. I
Yes,
agree.
yes.
Oh, Thrifty,
We're a bunch.
A lot of memories over the
Fun
years.
bunch.
Yeah, thank you so much, Thrifty. I appreciate it, dude. Or girl. Thank you for the donation.
Oh, I like this theory. Fender Bullet said Frog and Pigeon are Yusaku's parents.
Wow.
Oh my God.
But they're both guys.
How do we know that?
Is that not
Did you-
possible?
Well, it's not confirmed, I guess.
I did love the episode there. What was that, like 82 or whatever? Wherever you picked them up in the editing room, and like half the episode's them, right?
Yeah.
And
I
so
love it.
like
I love
I like that you have that as them opening the episode, and then they switch to being in the background because when they're waiting for Revolver to show up for the meeting, it's just they blow up in the background, and then it's just like Emma just goes, oh, it's a passing comment. It's just like, oh yeah, some idiot modified their D-board and crashed, and I'm like, whoa, like what the hell just happened?
Dude,
and we're just gonna totally like it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love it.
And the way they threw Brave Max in there too, of talking about how horrible his goddamn show is.
Yeah.
Shows more that he's a useless character. Useless.
We're gonna have a discussion about
Who? We're gonna talk about something, right? If you're not the best duelist in the world, fine. You have your own TV show.
Sure.
You think people want to see what's inside a trash can? You think that's an interesting thing for your show? And he's not an idiot. That's what you're gonna tell me.
I think he adds a very unique comedic value to the show. And if they did a whole 3-episode saga on his
I would immediately
character
stop watching the show.
and his past,
Couldn't do it.
stop watching the show.
I couldn't do it. That or I skip the 3 episodes. You can't do that. That's
One
wasted.
episode.
It's wasted time. Waste.
What do you think of the Naoki Emma duel? I'm just curious.
Literally a waste of time.
What do you mean?
It was a complete waste of time. There was
incredible.
the only good thing in that duel is Emma going, "Oh wow, he's really not joking around. He's just an idiot." Like that was the only good thing of that entire duel. What a waste of an episode.
You got if I put a Naoki poster right there.
Would you be upset?
No, you have to put Brave Max.
I mean, you could do what you want. It's your house. It's your basement. I'm just not going to look in that direction.
Dill, we have a good question.
Absolutely, yes, thank you.
So I'm gonna butcher this from Ariukineun.
Nailed it.
That's the best I can do.
Ariukin Mayu.
No, that's all ends. But
You
no
were
worries.
even worse. How do you feel? How do you feel about Jin actually speaking?
Have we heard him speak?
We kind of did in the last episode.
Wait, really?
Yeah, he spoke
That's
to
how he
Kusanagi.
was
Like, yeah, Kusanagi.
That was it. Oh.
Are you saying save me, save me?
Do you think that was Lightning making a program that said
Well, he
that,
has his
or was that
consciousness.
taking a piece of his memory where he said something to Kusanagi and kind of editing the audio? And
I like to believe
putting it
that's
together?
that's exactly what it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
The latter there.
Right, he could do
because-
it. Right, he's a genius AI. Why
Easy.
can't you do it?
He can do whatever
puts
he
an audio
wants.
track,
Yeah.
sends it out.
I believe that him speaking is very similar like Reira from Arc 5. I don't know if you watched Arc 5, but Reira was a character that didn't really speak too much, although he did have more speaking lines than Jin did, mainly because he dueled, so you have to speak when you duel. That's been the big difference between those characters. Well, one of the differences anyway. I think I wouldn't mind him speaking more consistently. That being said, I do not want him to become a talkative lovebird character by the end of the show. I still think he should be very reserved.
I
He's
mean,
gonna be. He's been through a lot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why it doesn't make sense for him to be a talkative character. If he says 10 lines the entire show, I'm okay
be happy,
with that.
yeah.
I'm fine
But
with
I think it's going to be 10 lines that every time he speaks, it's something meaningful and important. I think it's going to be like that.
Yeah, I agree with that. Good question. Good question. Any other questions? Any other thoughts? Probably getting near that wrap-up time. I imagine it's probably been about an hour, 10 minutes.
What do we got?
we can look through.
I mean,
this.
I will say on a quick note, since I watched all these episodes in succession in the last few days.
Yeah.
Revolver just and that duel with Soulburner, it kind of annoyed me a little bit, just Soulburner losing his stuff a little bit.
Just temper tantrum?
Yeah, and now I understand that's part of his character. He's literally has a
Hot-blooded.
temper and stuff like that. He has
The
the
fire,
burning draw
yeah.
and all that. I get it. But at the same time, I was like, we just had a conversation that this is exactly who we're meeting here. Revolver, right?
Right.
And I understand seeing the person in person triggers something,
sure,
right?
sure.
But
Play it cool.
we have bigger things to deal with right now. So can we not do this?
Yeah.
And just like Revolver is gonna face Playmaker later down the road, we can
Let's
wait.
just keep- yeah.
We can
Yeah.
chill.
Keep the peace
Yeah, we
for
got
now.
bigger threats going on here. Lightning is literally knocking off people left and right.
Yeah.
We need to worry about that.
Yeah. I agree.
Dill, I got 2 questions for you that we can end on.
Okay, beautiful. Ending on these 2 questions. Thank you guys who are watching
Emma-
and stayed the whole time.
Emma
or
is
just
waifu.
tuned in for a little
Okay,
bit.
so the first one is Dylan, is Naoki waifu?
Yeah, I'd say so.
I think he's
He's thick.
husbando.
Oh.
That's the opposite term for waifu.
Why does it have to be, though? I like to use waifu as a gender-neutral term.
But it's just
And that's from Yuto. I think
all
I
right, fine.
pronounced
I'm
that
not
right.
gonna. I'm not gonna.
And
argue.
then-
I don't think until Naoki grows up, I don't think anyone wants him.
Okay.
You wouldn't if you were a girl, a pretty dame.
You wouldn't want Brave Max.
No.
18 years old. You wouldn't go on a date with Brave Max.
No, absolutely not, because he's immature, and I
so-
can't do that.
It does. So it doesn't have to do with his physical appearance.
No,
Yeah.
it actually does not.
Let me-
It has to do with his personality. That he's just. I can't even trust him to pick the right restaurant.
You got
Like,
a
come
point,
on.
and I've got a note to say about that.
Yes.
It's an old adage. It's timeless.
Okay.
That boys have swag, but men have class.
I don't think he
Mute his
even
microphone.
he doesn't even have swag. He's like, I don't know what he has. I really don't. I think it's
don't even
immaturity.
And then the other question I saw, this is like a more serious question, from Didi Kaiser. It says, will I become the divine Ignis by the end of the series, or will he reprogram the villains?
Wait, what?
I can't see that. No.
Well, does he mean Bowman or I?
Well,
He said I, right?
Yeah.
I don't see that would be. I know he's the Dark Ignis, but that'd be a really
dark turn.
really dark, interesting
Yeah.
turn that I just don't see.
No.
That, or you have to spend 5-10 episodes setting up
But-
little hints that he's going to do
But the
something
thing is, like,
that.
what if Bowman is only I away from becoming the divine Ignis, and they defeat him, and I eats his data, then he becomes the divine Ignis, right?
Not out of the realm
Or
of
he has the
possibility.
data.
Not
to be-
Right,
become
but
it.
again, if he had that option, does he take it and
Well-
decide to become some sort of divine evil?
But he doesn't have to be evil to be the divine Ignis.
I feel like if he's becoming that divine platform, there's always going to be conflict because
Yeah.
Ryoken, Soltec, everyone wants these things dead or captured.
But if he's divine and he's good, then he's keeping that possibility of the evil divine Ignis away. You know what I mean?
yeah, but I can't see it for his character just because his personality, unless he's been shamming us this whole time and he's been pulling the greatest act ever where this is not his personality, it's all an act.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't fit. He just
No, I
doesn't
agree.
fit that role. And I'm not saying that's a bad question. I'm just saying it just doesn't fit that role for me.
Yeah, I know. I agree.
Yeah.
I'm playing devil's advocate.
I
I'm
think
just throwing the other side at
Lightning,
you.
I think Bowman, they kind of fit that. Although, as we've said,
Now-
Bowman is significantly changed.
Now, the second part of the question, will he reprogram the villains? Do you think there's a way where he'll try to keep the other Ignis alive and try to figure out how to take these dark turns that they've made?
No,
I hope
out?
not.
Wendy's done, Lightning's done.
It's a
like,
good
those
question.
people will be done.
It's a
and
good
done.
question, Didi Kaiser. I saw a few people on Twitter saying they hope that Wendy gets redeemed.
I don't want him redeemed, but I do want him back again.
I want that
I-
curse.
I
think he's
I
great.
just want that curse.
My thing with that, great question by the way, Didi. My question, sorry to kind of shift it a little bit. There's some characters and some people that should not get redemption. Wendy drove a car into a miner.
Oh, he
and
doesn't
killed him.
deserve redemption. No,
Right, but
absolutely
you
not.
don't think that makes him a fantastic villain? I would love to
Incredible
see him
villain.
come back
Oh, he's an
again.
incredible villain. But to the people
Also
that
because
say
he's
they hope he gets
unhinged.
redeemed
No,
and
no,
joins
no,
the
no,
good
no,
side.
I don't
No.
want any redeeming.
I mean, how
It's
does
the
that
same
even
thing.
happen?
It's the
like
same thing we talk about with Kylo
like
Ren
re-
for Star Wars Episode 9.
There's
Do
no
not
redeeming
redeem
him.
this man.
It's
Let's
like
stop.
it's like saying someone who shoots another person
Yeah.
in premeditated, because that was premeditated, which is the worst way to kill. I mean, murder is
He was
horrible.
planning on killing
He was
that-
planning on
that-
killing an
especially
underage 15-year-old boy with a vehicle. If
And
someone
he shows no remorse over it.
no
now.
remorse at all. In fact, he was kind of gloating about it. If someone walks into a pizza parlor and shoots a guy, they're evil. They should not be redeemed. They should not have a redemption arc.
Why pizza parlor?
That was the only place I could think
He
of.
worked.
Yeah, I know.
But
I mean,
it's
talking
a
about
difference
you.
that people can commit horrible acts, or AIs in this case commit horrible acts. It's that he does gloat about it. He does enjoy it.
Right.
And he hasn't shown any remorse.
I don't
So
think
there's
there
no
should be
redemption.
There's no redemption there whatsoever, and it should be like that.
yeah, but thank you for the question, Didi.
We-
John, I think we.
Yeah.
We have a donation, but first I have a question from Barrett Letty. Why are you guys up so late?
Barrett,
welcome.
Well, thank you for catching Barrett. Guys,
My
Barrett
guy.
Letty is the voice of Akira Zeisen in the Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS English dub.
Which I even-
amazing
I
guy.
really-
He's got to be on this podcast soon. So we're up
Yes.
late, Barrett, because well, first of all,
Because
we're always up late.
Yeah.
I'm going to Florida this weekend, so I was unable to do it this Saturday. So as a replacement, we were like, yeah, let's all meet up.
Whole reason he's going is to catch Heracross and Corsola in Pokemon Go.
That's not the-
That's the entire
it's
reason why. he's
only
taking-
reason.
It helps.
But you better catch enough to trade him to all of us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Specifically, do not trade one to Caliber.
Listen, podcast tonight instead of Saturday. Barrett, I hope you will be on a podcast soon, my friend. You and Daniel always have open invites, and Sam Black, all the voice actors do. So hopefully you come, man. You're a great guy. Barrett's a great guy. Cannot wait for the English dub.
Thanks for stopping
Of
by.
Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS. Yeah, thank you for
Yeah.
stopping by, my friend.
Another donation from Rex Etrix.
Thank you, Rex.
Maybe,
Thank you, dude.
maybe the car accidents or the new Shadow Realm. If Dr. Kusanagi was king, could Queen be Revolver's mother?
Wow. Also not. Why not?
That would make it even more wicked if
That's
she did
crazy.
it to her husband
yeah.
and she only married him for the power. I would love that, Rex.
Wow, that's a
Talk about a
interesting
female
twist.
villain setup right there.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah. And as Jordan had said in the last podcast, when you think of girl characters, I think it's because a lot of them you think kind of like with motherly instincts.
Sure.
You don't think of them as being evil and menacing and conniving like you can picture, I think, more easily with men. So that's why I think going all in with Queen as this evil, wicked, maybe if she is going to be married to Kogami, which again is kind of just a crack theory, wife and leader and just heartless person, I think it's more unsettling
Right.
because it's a girl villain than it is for a guy villain, which I like more. And that's probably why every time she speaks, it's like, geez, because we haven't seen.
Yeah, she makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, and that's good. That's what a villain should do.
Right.
Villain should make you
Joe, I have a
uncomfortable.
question to end on here.
Yes, ending on this question.
It's from Barrett also.
Okay.
He said, "What was everyone's favorite lunch to order when you were in elementary school?" For me, it was the chicken patty.
I did love the chicken patty.
Chicken
I
patty.
like the pizza.
Every once in a while.
I mean, it was kind of rubbery,
The pizza you'd roll up in a cheese ball
and you could
you'd
bounce it. Yeah, but
Yeah,
it still tasted
literally.
pretty good.
Oh God.
You know what? And for that reason, I always brought my own lunch.
I brought my own
I
lunch.
always
too.
brought my own lunch.
I sound kind of posh
there was
saying
Peanut
good
that.
butter and
little
jelly sandwich.
chicken
Butter and
nuggets.
jelly.
I remember.
Sometimes the chicken nuggets.
But I did bring my own lunch a lot. I was a jelly only person. I hate
Oh,
peanut butter.
wow.
So I had jelly sandwiches
I'm a
and maybe
big
like a
PBJ
juice box
guy.
or something. I
team
despise
jelly-
peanut butter.
I still make myself PBJs for lunch at work.
I remember in the high school talent show when you were 17, you slathered yourself in jelly on stage.
yeah.
Yeah,
the
I
jelly
remember that.
wrestling. Yeah.
The
I,
je-
I actually
Geist-
came in third in that.
I
so
remember
that was pretty good.
But the guy who slathered himself, the peanut butter jelly guy, won.
Yeah, and that's why I forever hated it.
Yeah, that's.
and then DDR came.
All right, let's.
It's about that time.
But Barrett, thank you so much for coming by, and thank you to everyone who watched the live stream, Talking Yu-Gi-Oh! Into the VRAINS, episode 6, where it all began.
Where it began. You're so close.
So close.
Well, I guess where it all began is just as good.
nah,
but it's where
one
it's
it's
works.
wrong. A special thank you to again everyone who commented and watched, and
We love
to
you.
everyone who super chat donated. You guys mean the world to me, and you really help out this channel immensely. And you let me buy this sort of equipment and spend time doing these videos. I mean, it really is all thanks to you guys. And a special thank you to my platinum tier patrons: Lexa Baker, Glen McGookin, Jorge Carrillo, James Rose, Omni Lord, Samuel Stark, Thomas Adderley, Amber Crystal, and Horace May. Sorry, we had a few new names that I have to remember. But thank you to all the new patrons. And to my diamond tier patrons, Jesse Wood and Bouldergeist. And to my Egyptian god tier patrons, Chris Swan and Syn Cloud. Thank you guys so much to everyone who supports me on Patreon. It helps me out immensely. Hopefully you made it for this. If you didn't, hopefully you still enjoyed it and
this was
watched
fun.
it afterwards.
It was
Yeah,
fun.
I wish you could come more, man. I wish you could come more.
Thank
we-
you all for
we
having
got
me
another
down there in the
donation.
comments.
Okay, sure.
There will be
So-
more.
Late minute donation.
Chris
Thank you.
Swan with the late donation here saying Talking Yu-Gi-Oh! Into the Chairs, episode 6.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Thank you, Chris. Chris, honestly, I cannot tell you how much you have helped me out, man. Thank you
I'm
so
sorry,
much,
Haro.
dude. You're an awesome guy.
He's the best. No, Haro said I just got here. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, we're wrapping
Okay,
it
you'll
up.
be able to watch it on the playback.
It's all right. Yeah,
Yeah, watch the
it'll be
playback.
playback.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart. And I hope, I thank you guys as well
Of course, it's
for
a
coming
pleasure
on.
to be
I
here.
never,
Every
really,
time.
never
really
take,
thanks for having me on.
take the time
Appreciate
to thank you, Cal, Nick T, Pete, John. Thank you guys so much. Do you have anything you guys want to promote at the, going out here? Or
Sure.
Yeah, go around.
So I actually quite a bit now. Mom Fight just got the masters back for our new EP single. 2 new songs coming out at the end of April. So keep a lookout for that. It'll be on Spotify, Apple Music, all your streaming platforms, as well as Bandcamp. So you check that out. And I personally have my own solo song coming out. Probably also mid-April. So keep a lookout for that. I'm on here often enough that I'll give you some sort of platform to look at it. So please check it out.
Anytime I get new Nick T music, I always look forward to it.
It's
so.
great. It's
Oh, you have to hear it.
I really want to listen.
as
to
good as Cal music.
I mean, I obviously, you guys, most of you probably know if you've been long timers. I run a YouTube channel called Clueless Gamers that me and Dylan started on. It's not been as active these days just because I've been busy. But we have a Captain Marvel review coming up that we'll
Yes.
be right back at this table.
Yeah.
I am super excited for that. So in the next week or so, be sure to check that out because I can't wait for that.
Absolutely.
So excited.
John, Cal, you got anything?
Just my Twitter, one Johnny Baseball. I talk a lot about baseball. It's about it.
Yeah, I think
You're a
there's probably
baseball
actually a lot of
fan
people
following.
here that would.
That's-
Yeah, there's
That's
a
really
guy.
all I do. So
Yeah, I know Jesse's a big baseball fan.
Yeah.
So yeah, check him out. Check everyone out.
Also, I did want to say that if any Arrow fans are down there in the comments, it's a sad day for us today. As if you guys didn't hear, Stephen Amell announced
more
that
season.
the show will end with 10 episodes in the fall. So after 7.5, or this will be the 8th season of Arrow, that will end. So that was really sad for me today. So if you follow me on Twitter, I'll be tweeting about the last 10 episodes when that happens. But I'm sure everyone, if you watch that show, is really sad.
yeah, all good things come to an end, man.
Yeah,
That's rough.
yeah. I mean, it's time, so I
yeah,
get it.
yeah. Well, thank you guys again for all
Yeah,
coming
my
on.
pleasure.
Thank you to everyone who
Thank
watches.
you.
Thanks,
Without
guys.
you guys, there would be no Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything, and I really do mean that. This channel is as big as you guys make it, and I'm always thankful for that.
Dylan's
so.
the Yu-Gi-Oh! And you're the everything.
Yeah, and that's why he works for Prudential, right there.
Thank,
Guys.
thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the comments, and I hope you have an amazing day. Thank you, guys.
See you guys later.
Bye.
Here comes the awkward 5-second pause before I have to hit end stream.
You should definitely
Thank you,
like
guys.